Well, hey, B, it's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I want to talk to you guys real quick about Miss Aikisha Holly and her husband. Okay, listen, they do have a podcast called F It, and on this particular podcast that they did, they talked about the finale. Well, it's called the finale, which is what I believe they labeled the podcast episode, but they more so got into the fight scene of the Bell Collective episode at Taste and all of that. Now that the show is completely over, okay? They wanted to go ahead and wrap all of that up. And we're gonna watch some of her video where she gets into more details and the breakdown of the fight and all of that and the whole phone fiasco, the text messages and everything, right? But I just wanted to highlight something, not a whole lot of what took place earlier on in her video. If you guys want to see it in its entirety without any interruptions in its just fullness, go to Aikisha Holly Cologne's YouTube channel and you can watch the full thing. But the things that I just made a quick note of was that Aikisha came to Latrice's event with three individuals outside of her husband, okay? But it wasn't like a 14, 10, 18, all of these people that Latrice said. She's saying that did not happen. Her niece was there, the one that we did see in the pink. She says two of her sisters were there. No, I'm sorry. One of her sisters and a cousin was there. I believe the sister is about 64 years old. What 64-year-old is really out here trying to fight? And then you have a 50-year-old cousin. Like, come on, okay? And even when they got ready to film, her family actually went outside, right? They came there for the grand opening of Taste. Everything is nice, and then the family ended up going outside, all right? I think they may have even left. Before everything got started, and we're about to pick up where she kind of goes into detail about, when they got ready to start filming and stuff. And keep in mind, Latrice sent her a message. It's very, 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 very long. I appreciate Aikisha for releasing this, because y'all know I wanted to know exactly what was it that Aikisha said to Latrice for her to respond to her in that way, calling her an antique face dummy. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. So, all in all, let us go ahead and get that up on the screen. Let me check my volume here. You guys make sure that you're liking up the video, okay? Because I did get a few of you guys over there in my Twitter, honey, asking me to talk about it, girl. So we are here, okay? So make sure you are liking up the video. In the meantime, let's get this on the screen so that we can check out exactly what the Colognes, primarily Miss Aikisha, had to say.
We began to film our scenes. My family was outside. They were getting ready to leave because they had eaten, they had food, they had drinks. And so they're like, oh, well, if y'all about to start working, we're going to leave. So my sister, my cousin, and my niece had stepped out when you see us sitting, getting ready to do this scene. Well, what is not seen is people think that the energy shifted when Glenn came back in the room after his change. It actually started before that. Because remember, Cliff started with you before Glenn walked back in.
Sure. Yeah.
Because he was, that's when he told us he was Jesus.
Yeah.
I remember him saying all, and I'm thinking like, what in the heck is going, and what's going on with Cliff? But then again, Cliff
Not
is always
Jesus.
drunk. Anytime we're coming together for a group activity, 9.9 times out of 10, he's already been drinking for 3 or 4 hours before we started.
Oh,
So I
my.
was just like, oh yeah, I know we about to get the hell up out of here, because I don't like, one, I don't know who the fuck Cliff is talking to. And secondly, come on, let's get this thing going. So we were really waiting for Glenn to come back in, because we were told when he comes in, they're going to sing happy birthday and we were going to be out. Cliff comes in, which you guys see. I mean, not Cliff, Glenn, excuse me, because I want to be very clear. Glenn comes back in and you extend your hand saying like happy birthday. He's like, hey man,
Yep.
happy birthday. And then that's what you guys saw. You're seeing bits and pieces of the guys going back and forth, back and forth. And I'm really wondering and looking at Willie like, what the hell is going on? Someone says that I'm in Willie's ear like a chihuahua, hyping him up. I never went in your ear. The only thing I said to you one time was, I said, don't say anything else. Because in my mind, I am a producer. I know how production works. And I didn't know where this storyline was going. But what you were not going to say is that Willie kept egging them on. So it continues to go. You guys saw it escalate. They broke it up. We go outside. All of that you guys saw. When we get outside, well, on the inside, what they didn't see, the girl in the pink was my niece. That's who came with me. And she told me, she said, TT, we were outside. I heard my uncle arguing. I heard my uncle stand up. And she said, the only thing I thought was, he is in there by himself. He didn't have anybody. Everybody else in that place was either family or friend to Latrice or Letitia. So that's why she came in. That's why you saw her standing in the background. And that's why she came up. Now, do I think my husband needed me or my niece? No. But like I've been very clear all along. When my husband comes to Mississippi, I will never, ever allow anybody to disrespect him because I know he is there because of me. And at that point, we felt very disrespected. You're telling us you don't like him. You're saying we don't have anything. You're saying you're Jesus. You talking about he's a Bel, and Bel is another word for acting like a bitch. Let's just put it out there. You're saying all of these things. And did anybody expect for him not to say anything?
Latrice, and my thing is, how do you sit there and witness your husband doing all of this, but then want to sit up there and try and blame Aikisha as if she was the problem for all of this? That didn't make sense. Like, it always starts with your husband, but you never quite put the blame where it's supposed to be. Instead, you search for other individuals to place it on. We're going to always tell you to look there first, okay? I guess he was feeling himself. As they said, he likely was drinking, already had been drinking. It's his celebration, okay? He feel like he doing some big things, and he get to show Mr. Big Willie, what he bout. Okay, look at me. Okay, you ain't the only one that out here got some business. I got some too. Yeah, he was just doing a bit too much. And the crazy thing was, the whole time, the person that really didn't see the play was Glenn. Why we thinking it was Willie? It was really Glenn that didn't see the play. See, them the type of people you gotta watch, because them be the friends that'll get your is lined up. Okay? He over there getting you lined up to get you tied the fuck up. Okay? So you be mindful. Watch your friend, honey.
I'm laughing because it's just crazy. Everything's
Playing
flashing.
it back,
Yeah.
yes. And Glenn says F you. I say F you to Glenn, and then she says whatever to me. And of course, I'm like, oh, well, okay. And it can go for you too. So, and there was, the people around them. So when these girls come out, my niece is thinking that it's a continuation of what was happening inside. So it goes on from there. They start firing off.
Now, I will say this. I mean, with Aikisha saying F you to Glenn, when Glenn was likely talking to Willie, I can see why Letitia would be like, well, F you. Do I care about Aikisha saying fuck you to Willie? Hell no. Because number one, you just disrespected me by trying to compare me to Latrice, talking about me as if I ain't shit. Okay? And then you over here trying to come for my man, and you going to tell him F you, not fuck you. Yeah. I feel like Aikisha owed him that. Just a piece. Okay? In my personal.
It's broken up. There's no one out there but Willie, Aikisha, and my niece. Where these other 14 or 15 people come from, I don't know. But you know what was funny to me? They keep saying we had all these people, but then you say about 8 of your people beat my niece down.
Right.
So somebody wrote in one of the comments, okay, so if they were all these people with them, what were the other 14 people doing?
Yeah, the math wasn't math.
Yeah, while y'all were beating the niece down. It's not math.
Just
so
lying.
anyway, that was broken up. That was the brawl. I'm going to address the phone situation. Apparently, after this fight, Latrice's family and my niece and us, we leave. We go around to my house. Like I said, it's right there. Everybody who was there that I knew or heard about it came around to my house. So JJ hands me my phone and my purse because I had lost my phone. I lost my purse. And that was...
And your bracelet.
Yes, and I lost my Cartier bracelet. So somebody's walking around Jackson with a very nice diamond Cartier bracelet. But I hope it brings you whatever you deserve, whoever has it. So anyway, I mean, maybe they could do it and pay their rent or something. I don't know, whatever. But it's fine. You said you were gonna buy me another one, so. Anyway, so that's, we talk about it and everybody goes home and that's it. Of course, production's reaching out to us and they were asking if I could do a scene with Latrice. I could do a scene with Letitia. And I said, absolutely not. I'm not doing a scene with Letitia, but I do want to talk to Latrice. Because at this point in my mind, I wanted to apologize to Latrice because, like I told you, I said it to you. Mm-hmm. I hated that happened there. And it really had nothing to do with her. Her husband starts this entire thing, which I knew she wasn't going to address her husband. And that's a different issue. But I wanted to apologize that it happened at her grand opening. I didn't even know she had reservations about that, having his event during the same time until I watched the show.
And when I hear the word reservation, it made me think of invitation. I remember Latrice trying to say that they weren't invited or they didn't get an invitation. And Aikisha addressed that earlier in this video, that they did receive the invitation. So I figured they did. So that was interesting. Yikes.
So they tell me that she and I were going to meet at 11. Then they call me back and say we were going to do it at 1. Then they called and said she couldn't do it. We were going to have to do it later. And then they said, well, we're not, things have changed. She's not doing it at all. And I said to Willie then, I said, Latrice is talking to Letitia and she's trying to convince her not to have a scene with me.
You know it.
So I call her. She said that I never reached out to her. I called her twice because I wanted to talk to her and apologize, because at this point, I know that was her family that my niece was fighting with. And, I wanted to say, listen, I didn't even have an issue with that because, one, my niece didn't know who your people were. Your people didn't know who my niece was. They were holding it down for you just like she was trying to hold it down for me, and did. Now, we're going to put the facts out there. You talking about she got beat down. I didn't see one scratch on this girl.
Mm-mm.
I didn't see a thread, or anything out of place.
All
But
nonsense.
yeah, we're not going to even address that. But anyway, I still wanted to apologize to her because I hated that. I hated it happened at this place. So that's it. We don't speak anything else about it. Willie and I pack up our children. We get on the road. We heading back to New Jersey. We left to go to New Jersey on May 24th, 2024.
May 24th.
Let's get to the phone. On June 10th, I receive a text message. I'm going to put these text messages up on here so you'll be able to see and read everything for yourself, because they did show portions of the text message on the show, but it was out of context. So on that text message, it says, I was told production gave you my nephew's phone.
It says, my nephew's phone is traced to your house on Buckley. She says, and production told me that they gave it to your sister, or whatever she is to you, his phone. I need it back ASAP. So she didn't send an address, but she did send a city, state, zip. Okay.
We want that phone back ASAP. And, just the tone of it, I was like, whoop. I said, wait a minute, I was like, a phone. And she said it was given to your cousin or whoever that was with you, and da. Well, I had never heard anything about the phone. This is my first time hearing anything about production giving a phone to someone in my family. I call her. Everybody wanted to know what my response was. I don't do a lot of texting.
Come on.
They want to call me the old bitch on the show. I'll take that. I don't like texting. So when I'm reading this.
Oh, I know that's right. Let me tell you, I could be like that a little piece too, girl. Okay. Okay, Mr. Leo, sis, I could be like that a little piece too. It's only gonna be so many times I'm gonna go back and forth with your ass on text, bitch. I'm gonna have to see about you. We either gonna get on the phone, or I just might pull up on your ass, bitch. Okay. Now I have become very demure in my older age as I have grown, but I'll be very quick to pull up on the hoe and see what the fuck she really talking about. But I have grown a whole lot. Okay. We don't do those things like that anymore, okay? But I am with her on that, okay? Let me call you and see exactly what you're talking about. But if you go left, I really need to get on the phone and see what the fuck you're talking about. Or I'm going to have to pull up and really see what the fuck is you talking about, bitch, okay? But that's just, we have grown up.
I call, and I said, hey. She was like, hey, girl. I said, what are you talking about? I said, what about this phone? She's like, production told me that they gave my phone to somebody in your family, your cousin, or one of those, whoever was with you. And I said, well, what did she look like? She said, the one who had the braids. She had on the pink, the one with the braids. I said, oh, that's my niece. She said, yeah, well, she gave us the phone, and I need that phone back. I said, well, yeah, you had said something about ASAP, girl. I said, don't put that in the text message with me, because that was the tone was coming. She was like, well, maybe I'm not saying ASAP, but I'm just saying we really want that phone back. She never said that he had passed, which, you didn't have to tell me that. But she was just saying she wanted the phone back. And in the text message, she sent me an address of the last time they pinged the location. It said 3 weeks ago, and we're going to put all of that up. 3 weeks ago, it was at an address.
Okay.
It wasn't my address, but it was on my street.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I said that to her. I said, well, that's not my address, but I'll call my niece and I'll ask her if somebody gave her a phone, because I hadn't heard. She didn't say anything to me about a phone. So she said, okay. Hang up. Now, what I can't remember, because I don't want to be lying, I don't know if I called her that night or I called her that morning, but I did call her. And I said, I don't
remember.
Yeah.
No.
So I called and I asked her, I said, hey, did somebody, one of the production people give you a phone the day that the fight happened? Because this was 3 weeks ago. That happened on May 22nd. We were June 10th or 11th. And she said, oh, yeah. She said, remember you were saying you lost your phone. She said, but they gave me a phone. She said, but when I got home and asked you about your phone, you said you had your phone. JJ had your phone. And I threw that phone out the window because I guess it was one of theirs. And I said, oh. I said, yeah, well, she was saying it's her nephew's phone. So we hang up. I'm like, well, shit. She was out there fighting. If she realized it wasn't any of our phone, what the hell she looked like holding on to a phone? Did you think she was going to drive back up to Taste and be like, well, I know we've been out here fighting, but I found they gave me somebody's phone. Is it one of y'all's? So at this point, that's it. I've never seen the phone, never heard about it, never had it. She said she threw it away.
Hold on, let me go back. She said what now?
your phone. JJ had your phone. And I threw that phone out the window because I guess it was give you a phone the day that the fight happened, because this was 3 weeks ago. That happened on May 22nd. We were on June 10th or 11th. And she said, oh yeah, she said, remember you were saying you lost your phone. She said, but they gave me a phone. She said, but when I got home and asked you about your phone, you said you had your phone. JJ had your phone. And I threw that phone out the window because I guess it was one of theirs. And I said, oh, I said, yeah, well, she was saying it's her nephew's phone. So we hang up. I'm like, well, shit. I mean, she was out there fighting. If she realized it wasn't any of our phone, what the hell she looked like holding on to a phone? Did you think she was going to drive back up to Taste and be like, well, I know we've been out here fighting, but I found they gave me somebody's phone. Is it one of y'all's? So at this point, that's it. I've never seen the phone, never heard about it, never had it. She said she threw it away, and then she was saying they pinged it. So in my mind, it kind of made sense, because if she threw it out, if she threw it when she was driving off or whatever, it still would have been somewhere in the area. So hell, listen, we don't have the phone. We were getting ready to go on our anniversary trip, though, because I honestly didn't think anything else about it after I talked to my niece. And then she sent me the message on that Friday, because I remember we were out, but I was coming back to pack. That triggers my head, because our anniversary is June 17th, and we went to St. Bart and Anguilla and stuff. So we were packing for that.
So then I'm trying to remember when the Taste thing happened. Did she say it happened on like the 22nd or something? And then they left like 2 days later, on the 24th? So unless they hit them up right then, either way, when nobody been out there to go and find the damn phone, or am I tripping? I hate to rewind it again, y'all, but so let me just pause it real quick. All right, so the incident took place on May 22nd. Aikisha and them left on May 24th. What's her name? Latrice did not reach out to Aikisha until June 10th. About the phone, which is 3 weeks later, and nobody knew that the nephew had passed away like 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, and they want the phone so bad to, go into the phone. I feel like there's still invasion of privacy. How you know your nephew would even want y'all to be able to access his phone in that manner? But okay. Anywho, even though y'all saying y'all trying to grab photos and all of that, but we don't know what personal things that man may have had in his phone that he didn't even want none of y'all to be privy to be honest. But anywho, okay. It wouldn't have mattered because Aikisha ass wasn't at home to help her go look for it. So I'm sure like she's been out of town that long, and if you tracked it back a few weeks ago, who's finna leave where the hell they at to come all the way down to go find the phone? She probably told like, girl, we over here up north. We up north now. We not even at the house. So, you guys are welcome to go out there and look for it and see if you see anything. And if you don't, let me know. I'll try and, see if I can get to one of my neighbors. But it probably wasn't going to be until she got back there. And that always is going to go back to, for me, if the phone was that important to you, then go get the phone. I feel like Latrice wanted to feel like she was sonning somebody by trying to threaten them and force them to go grab or force them to get a phone and give to her. And if they're telling you the phone's not at their house, I feel like she wanted to feel like she was that big, bold woman to force somebody to go find the phone and bring it back to her, because that will make her feel more of a boss lady or something, because Cliff don't make her feel like that. I don't know what kind of oomph it would have gave her to know that she could threaten somebody via message and they just jump up and get her what it is she looking for. Like, girl, fuck you. Like, girl, go away with this. But anywho, incident took place May 22nd. Aikisha and them left to go up north on May 24th and had been there already, okay? But by the time Miss Ma'am Latrice reached out to them on June 10th, okay? I'm surprised. I'm like, your nephew didn't realize his phone was missing that night? Okay, when did you learn about the phone? But you're acting like you so close to your nephew and it was at your restaurant and the nephew didn't tell you to ping it and look up the location to see where it was? Like, okay, girl, somebody lying and it's giving that it's you, just like Marie said, you be lying, child. So I don't know, going into next season, it's giving heavy on the side eye for Miss Latrice, honey. It really is. Not even gonna hold you on that. All right, it doesn't mean she can't redeem herself, but it's definitely giving side eye. But let's keep going.
Hang up. I'm like, well, shit. I mean, she was out there fighting. If she realized it wasn't any of our phone, what the hell she looked like holding on to a phone? Did you think she was going to drive back up the Taste and be like, well, I know we've been out here fighting, but I found they gave me somebody's phone. Is it one of y'all's? So at this point, that's it. I've never seen the phone, never heard about it, never had it. She said she threw it away, and then she was saying they pinged it. So in my mind, it kind of made sense, because if she threw it out, if she threw it when she was driving off or whatever, it still would have been somewhere in the area. So hell, listen, we don't have the phone. We were getting ready to go on our anniversary trip, though, because I honestly didn't think anything else about it after I talked to my niece. And then she sent me the message on that Friday because I remember we were out, but I was coming back to pack. That triggers my head because our anniversary is June 17th and we went to St. Bart, Anguilla and stuff. So we were packing for that. I get this text message and it says, on Monday, June 10th, I asked you about my nephew's phone and da 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 da. I'll put it up because I don't want to be lying what the text message says.
Okay, so it says on Monday, June 10th, I have contacted you regarding my nephew's lost cell phone. Production advised that the phone was handed to your niece during my opening, during the commotion. It was also tracked via my iPhone to your address. I have requested that it be returned. I have since heard nothing from you in regards to retrieving it. I guess you meant receiving it. Before things escalate, let me know what's up. Girl, who you talking to? Who are you talking to? Like, don't overplay your position, okay? Don't do that. Don't be giving me the energy you should be giving him.
She said, and I haven't heard back from you. So if
look, this is the time where you say some shit like what Heavenly said to Contessa. Don't get mad at me, bitch, when the person you really mad at is your husband. I know that's right. Okay? Now that I feel would have applied more in this situation versus Heavenly over there with Contessa, okay? Because the subject matter at hand, in my opinion, didn't have nothing to do with Dr. Scott. However, with this right here, you mad about a situation when your husband started it, okay? Trying to blame Aikisha for bringing quote unquote hood rats and doing this and doing that, but your husband is the one that got this whole thing started, so blame him. That's who you really need to be mad at, bitch. Don't be mad at me.
Before this escalates, I need to know what's up. So again, I pick up the phone and I call her. And I said, hey, sorry about that. I did forget to call you back. I reached out to my niece and she said that she threw the phone out. Yeah, bitch. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, hold on, Latrice. So she's going in, click, hangs up the phone in my face. So, okay, it's immature. I'm grown as hell. So I called her back. I was like, why are you hanging up the phone? I'm telling you that I do not. That's broke, bitch shit. That's broke. And going. And I was like, so then I'm getting.
That's broke because she threw the phone out. That's not broke. What you mean? That's broke, bitch. Like, that's broke, bitch. Shit, nah, being broke would have been keeping the damn phone, I would think. Broke, bitch, I ain't got no use for this. Let me toss this shit out because it's nothing for me to get another one and it don't belong to me. Like, is that broke BIT stuff? I don't know.
Getting routed in because I'm at this point, I don't know who the fuck you talking to. And so we're kind of going back and forth. Click. She hangs up the phone again. So I thought about it. And I was mad. And I was thinking, when I see her, all these thoughts came in my mind. So I said, well, let me send a message back just so I can have a paper trail, just in case I see her somewhere. And
okay.
It goes down.
Okay.
So
BIT.
I text her back. I said, basically what I was trying to tell her on the phone. I see that you're trying to make an issue with me over something that I really thought was between Letitia and me, because I didn't have an issue with you. You were asking me to produce a phone that I do not physically have.
Come on.
And talking about it's going to escalate. Basically, I'm taking this as a threat, and now I'm scared. So I left it at that because I just, I'm afraid at this point. I'm afraid that something's going to happen. So she writes back, and she's like, girl, F you, and da-da-da-da-da. And she goes, y'all, her text message back was so long that, it took me, like, literally, I didn't even.
So this is what Aikisha said after old girl said, before it escalate, let me know what's up. What's up? This what's up? This what's up? So Aikisha said, it looks like you're trying to make an issue with me out of a situation that I thought was with the young ladies from Palahatchee. When we were just on the phone, you said this is broke BITSHI and I better produce a phone that I do not physically have. This sounds like a threat to me and now I'm scared. Okay, bitch, I would have said the same thing. Yep, your honor. So if you see me and I done ran up on this bitch and listen, I was afraid for my life, your honor. Okay, so, but Latrice just automatically responded, okay, girl, F you. Like, whoa, girl, F you. Palahatchee, Cancun, Mexico, New Mexico, or whatever other lie you're trying to concoct. Again, you came to my events to not only threaten and fought with 10 or more of your lower class family members, and it just, these folks be crazy. Like, well, how y'all try to be. So are your family members high class, ma'am? Are your family members high class, Latrice? You made it out of a piece of the hood, but did your family, You not even high class. So I'm so confused. Talk about something. You tricked them with with the lies. Remember that your family was recorded with fucking weapons that they snuck into my bar against rules to assault patrons. Another round of felonies for your entire family. Threatened. You're the vicious motherfucker. I have verification of you and your family's theft and assault on tape. The phone was over 1,000. Another felony. Like, I can't, girl. You're going to have to produce the proof, okay? You should have produced all of that when you was seeing your ass on that IG Live talking to Miss you-know-who. Okay? Miss WBW, girl. That's what you should have been doing. Production also verified that you and your family accepted the phone under false pretense. Another felony. Accepted the phone under false pretense. This is funny as hell. Tread lightly, you antique face Zami. You don't have enough bond money for all your family, boo. You don't know what that lady got.
Even finished reading it that night. I read it the next day. But it was absolutely disgusting.
She got after it. Whatever she felt about me, us, and whatever we got going on, she dumped it all out in that text.
And
She
I
sure
could not
did.
believe it because I had no idea that this girl felt this way about me.
I will be so glad, though. I'll be so glad it all went down, bitch. Let me know how you really feel about me. Let me know how much of a fake ass bitch you've always been. Let me know. I'm glad. Okay. Now we see what it is, you shapeshifter. Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's see what's going on.
I mean, from antique face to, you unaccomplished, nothing.
It's definitely giving heavy in the fucking projection area because you saying all of this shit to her because you can't go in on that man like you want to. The most you could really get out is weak ass. Sit your weak ass down. That's the most that you could get out. The most that you could get out because you couldn't get all of this out. Okay? Anywho, she goes on to say, so now that I see what type of person you really are, the gloves can't come off. You are trash. You and those drag queens you brought to my business grand opening to fight like gladiators, but got beat to sleep in their attempt is trash. You are the lowest of the low. I tried not to descend to your level, but you've made that real hard. You asked your slow, useless, unaccomplished ass to simply give my nephew, what? Oh, she says, I asked your slow, useless, unaccomplished ass to simply give my nephew back his phone. Give your nephew back his phone? So were you guys intending on burying the phone with him? Or were you going to keep the phone because you had a lot of memories in the phone? Memories that are not rightfully yours, but his. So I'm a little confused. How were y'all going to get into the phone if it had that code? Who had the password? And again, who's to say that man wanted y'all and his personal belongings like that? Like, girl, what the hell? Okay? And gonna talk about this lady being unaccomplished, okay? And honestly, and it's not to shade anyone, okay, that did not go to college, because you still can be accomplished, even though you may not have gone to college. But to tell that lady that has went off to college and doing her own thing as an entrepreneur and having other organizations and stuff that she's not accomplished is crazy. Like, I guess, girl, but anywho, she says, you masculine looking wannabe bully and big dog ass bitchs took his phone knowing that it wasn't your property. That's what bums do. I guess you feel like sucking the NFL DICK umpteen years ago accounts for class or some form of prestige. Bitch, it does not. You lack in all those areas very poorly. But what's killing me is you think sucking on an old nigga dick that's umpteen years older than your ass, okay, is some sort of accomplishment because you're living in a modern home on some fucking land. Okay, I'm a little confused. So is that supposed to account for some type of class? Because your house is all white on the outside and all white on the inside? Are you sure? Not you over here trying to talk about this lady sucking on NFL DICK and this man treating her better than your old wrinkled up ass nigga and his zick, so much so that bitch y'all be sleeping in different rooms, okay? Let Josh she tell it, because you ain't. Like, that's crazy to me. I'm just so disappointed because, and I think that's why I'm harder on Latrice right now, because she really was like my favorite of the show. And boy, has that dropped. Boy, has that dropped. Like, the disappointment And here's the thing, to know that Aikisha did not start this, and for you to be upset with Aikisha more than Letitia, who also participated when she sat up there and said fuck you back to Aikisha, which really got some things shaking, is crazy. I think it's messed up for you to automatically go at her and not place blame on both sides right after you place the initial blame on your nigga. And that's the crazy thing for me. Like, it's very disappointing to see. And the way that you go in on her is giving misplacement of anger, and it's definitely giving projection like a motherfucker, okay? All over a phone that you could go over there and pick up your fucking self. You can knock door to door and say, hi, excuse me, we're looking for a phone. Someone said they threw my nephew's phone. Have you seen any type of, like, girl, you could have did your own fucking research and found that goddamn phone. Since you got a direct address, go over there. Like, I'm so confused. Yeah, I can't. But anywho, she goes on to say, you lack in all those areas very poorly. What kind of gutter throwback unwanted ass human calls their family with lies like people were at a grand opening trying to jump on them? Who does that, bitch? Only manipulative trash like you. You had all of those nappy, knotted head motherfuckers pulling up. And I want y'all to know, this is a woman that sit up there and sells hair to a lot of these nappy, knotted headed up women. Okay, not you over here trying to talk about this lady hair when these are the very women that your ass is selling hair to. The fuck is wrong with you? And your hair texture ain't too different than hers or anybody else's. Like, what the fuck? Anywho, I guess you didn't think these was gonna expose, or I guess you didn't think she was gonna show this text or something. But like, damn. So then she goes on to say, you had all of those nappy, knotted head motherfuckers pulling up to my events, late as fuck with weapons to fight. And you know, this whole prestigious attitude that you're giving is really disappointing. Like, just for me, if I would, I've never bought anything from her, but if I did, I probably would have stopped and won't order shit else. And now I don't intend on ordering no shit. But I'm glad that you have enough clients that's gonna uphold you anyway. But I wouldn't be fucking with it. Like, the fuck? This how you see people. Like, I understand you mad, but goddamn, bitch. Like, you and Marie, like, y'all have something about y'all where y'all do be looking down on people like that. But you know what? A lot, not even just them. I feel like a lot of celebrities, a lot of people that sit in higher places. That's exactly how they be talking. Okay, she may be talking in private message, but that's how they be talking out loud. But still be wanting y'all to go out and support them, but be talking about you like a fucking dog. Like, have no respect for you. As long as you coming to get them extra money, so they can continue to floss in your face the things that you don't have. Girl, fuck that shit. Anywho. Goes on to say, unwanted as human calls their family with lies, like people were there, were at the grand opening trying to jump on them. Who does that, bitch? Only manipulative trash like you. You had all of those nappy, knotty headed, whatever. I can't stand hoes like you who lies to their family to get them riled up. You dumb discombobulated as that's who, or yo dumb discombobulated that's who. You are useless to even your own family, bitch. If they had any sense, they wouldn't even fuck with your callous ass, okay? People would have been killed.
I will put this text message up. It's actually kind of been floating around out there if you guys have not already seen it, but it was long.
I'm gonna read more in a
disgusting,
second.
It was immature, and it really showed who she truly is. And so that was that. We get through that, and at that,
let's pause here. So she says people could have been killed, but for what? Your lies, bitch. You and your husband came to my SHI on BS. You should have stayed home. Who would have missed you? You have zero substance, bitch. You should actually be a friend of a friend of a friend on the show. You're boring and fake as fuck. You came on the show with no identity, choosing sides and pledging allegiance to motherfuckers like a cliquish ass young hoe. Do y'all hear this woman? Who's not making any sense at all. BITCH, act your motherfucking age, just like them wrinkles in your saggy ass face does. I will reiterate to you and all your hood rat, Tuwong Fu looking ass family that came to my event with bullshit. The ones that stole my nephew's phone, we need it back ASAP. Not you done sat up here and said all of the things that you said to this woman and then expect her to give you a phone. BIT, girl, listen. Ooh. And you know what? I know Aikisha probably felt like this hoe gonna have to see me, but by the time they had the reunion, which I think took place in August, everything had mellowed out, and you more so on your demure. You know what I'm saying? You in your demure stage, like it's all good, okay? But girl, this right here. It's crazy. She says, now I do understand that you have to wait on your aunt and ancestors to pass away in order to secure your bag, baby. But I know damn well that Willie saved at least a few $100s while he was running footballs up and down that field, running out of breath, bitch. Surely he does not think for one moment that bootleg boring ass podcast will bring a dime to his already lint filled pockets. Like, what? Like, it's so weird. It's like so much misplacement of anger. Like, it's so weird, girl. Ain't that something? The way she over here trying to go is crazy.
I didn't think anything else about the phone or her, and I knew because our decision had already been made when we left that broad.
So they go on. She goes on to say, "Promise me that he knows that girl, like pinky swear." Then Willie, your husband, that one that's eating uncooked meat, started SHI with my husband at our establishment. Just like, who told you that? Who said that? Who said he started with him? Who said that? The one that we own all by ourselves. You motherfuckers bragging about a business that has 20 million partners. Girl, of course you're mad at us. Had you done more than try to secure
my husband said to me that we were done.
His big show looking at us with babies and invested his money better, you both be further ahead. Like, that is like this right here is she's crazy.
But I knew that we had
But see, you know what? I do feel like this. If she's a part of this show long enough, I do feel like everybody has their day. And I've said that before when I talked about Latrice. Like, everybody had a day, meaning she gonna have her season. But when you say stuff like this and you talking that big talk and this, that, and all that other stuff, you gonna have your time. You gonna have your time when you have that egg on your face. That face gonna get cracked. Now, I don't know if it's that he gonna leave you or something. I don't know if it's gonna be something. I don't know. Okay. It could be anything. Something could happen with that business try. Something could happen. So you just gotta be careful how you moving. But anywho, so she says, girl, of course you're mad at us. Had you done more than try to secure his big show looking whatever? She says he found the audacity to tell a grown-ass man to suck his in our bar with a room full of customers. And your husband found the need to stand up in his bar yelling about how much he don't like this very man. Like, make it make sense.
Contract to fulfill. We had not filmed the reunion at this point.
Then goes on to talk about something being tactless. Okay, she's talking some tactless like a motherfucker, and your man is always tactless, and that's what kills me. But you could pinpoint tactless. Like, I can't. She says he could squeeze his humongous ass right on out the closet behind that one. We all know what he really prefers anyway. White women and males, allegedly, right? Like, she really wanted a reaction out of Aikisha, and it's definitely giving. You're saying a lot of things and you're bringing a lot of aggression to the wrong person because you can't bring it to who you really want to bring it to. And you over here talking about coming out of a closet when people been over here questioning why your man always trying to put somebody in the dress or in the situation of a woman when he's talking to a man. Like, get that together. You got other things you need to worry about. So she says we all know what he really prefers anyway. White women and males, allegedly, right?
Now we're on June 14th. And so we found out we were going to be.
She says, being stuck with you, though, she says, I can't blame him. At the end of the day, my nephew's phone pinged at your house. It holds valuable events, other precious moments. We want that phone back simply because it's his. Let your cracked out folks know that for me. Ask your nephew looking at his niece how her head and back feel after being stepped on while trying to hold up.
Reunion in August. So here we go. I did not find out.
While trying to hold up for a wannabe ass whore filled with lies and drama as yourself. F you, your husband, them, your miserable ass life, and your feelings, bitch. Be blessed, smooches. And you still asking for a phone, and then you sit your weak ass on this damn reunion, talk about this woman being a hood rat, but everything that you're giving in this message is giving hood rat, and then you got the audacity to sit your ass up there at the reunion and cry and want to seek sympathy for people because your nephew passed away. Get the, like, it's just, yeah, nah. Mm-mm. I can't get with it. I'm not gonna be able to do it, Zuki Boo. Mm-mm. That's so wild. But I'm gonna go back a little bit because I was talking as Aikisha was talking, reading as she was talking. So I'll go back slightly so we can catch more of what she says.
It was disgusting. It was immature, and it really showed who she truly is.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was that. We get through that, and at that point, I didn't think anything else about the phone or her, and I knew because our decision had already been made when we left that brawl.
Yeah,
My husband said to me that we were done. But I knew that we had a contract to fulfill. We had not filmed the reunion at this point. Now we're on June 14th. And so we found out we were going to be filming the reunion in August. So here we go. I did not find out that her cousin died until the day before the reunion. They send us all of the episodes so we can view every episode before we film the reunion. And in one of the episodes, when she begins to talk about the phone, actually, it's the last episode, she says her cousin died. And I was like, oh my God. Now, at this point, I did still feel sympathy and empathy for their family. I called Sophia. I said, oh my God. I said, girl, did you know that Latrice's nephew died? And she said, no. She said, I saw it in the episode and da-da-da and whatever. And so, I mean, it still didn't change anything because I never had a phone, didn't know anything about the phone. And I told her what had happened. But in my mind, I was thinking, even if she would have said that when she called initially or text initially, and I talked to her on the phone, I could have gone to my neighbor's house. I could have tried to see exactly the address that she sent. Maybe the phone, it was 3 weeks later, but I don't know, maybe the lady's yard person or somebody. I don't know, but I would have definitely tried to figure out like, hey, because, she explains it as if, well, we were thinking about it later and we wanted to get those memories. Because in my mind, you say your nephew passed a week later from May 22nd. Were y'all not trying to get the phone before then?
Right.
Because on the message she sent me, it said the last ping was 3 weeks before that. So still, the person I am, if she would have said that to me in June when we were talking about it, I still would have called my neighbors or had somebody to go past there to see if we could find something. So
I wouldn't have
that's my
did
take.
a fuck ass thing, period. Okay, honestly. She could have took her ass out there and found that goddamn phone. I ain't going out my way. Maybe if I had a neighbor's number, maybe I'll call them. But outside, what it would have said was the neighbor said they didn't see it, but you welcome to come over into their yard and look for it. The fuck?
On the phone. I knew nothing about it. I never had it. And I mean, if you so about it, then, ride past there.
I know that's right. Come get their phone.
So, and finally, us quitting the show. We had already made up in our minds that we were not coming back. Like I said, after that situation. And then when we got to the reunion, when I watched my opening and I said something about it in August and the show did not come out until November, and what I discussed and said that I was unpleased with still was there. When I watched that final scene with these two girls coming together who just a few months before that were enemies.
Come on.
This girl stood over you and said, you are an insecure bitch. This is the same girl who told me you were insecure when we initially talked about each and every person on the show. I watched that scene and I just think about how our executive producer asked me if it hurt my feelings watching the two of them talk about me.
Not our executive producer. Oh, I'm hollering. I mean, that is his title, but she damn sure didn't say his name.
No. No. These two people are the biggest liars I have ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And my
Now,
reason...
Aikisha, I'm finna clock you real quick because if Latrice is the biggest liar you ever met in your life, why the fuck would you sit up there and say that she was your favorite? Why would you sit up there and say that she was honestly your favorite up until this situation? Because she couldn't be my damn favorite, seeing the fact that she lies so fucking much. Like, huh?
For going on live and us quitting the show is because those two will never control my narrative. Because the way they lie, they would have had a story for y'all on how I had been fired or how they had kicked me off the show, even though we all know they don't have any power to have anybody kicked off of anything. But they are never held accountable for anything they do. So why would I let people in this free world think that they were the reason that I was not a part of something that I was asked to come back to, that I know that I gave a lot to, that I know I'm one of the main reasons a lot of people tune into this show. And yes, I said it. So that is why we wanted to make sure that it could not be manipulated. And it was said to who it needed to be said to, but it was also sent from our attorney, our attorney to their attorney as well before we made that announcement. So that, my friends, do you have anything to say about this?
No,
I know
you said a whole lot. You know, I think in this, and I said it even on my podcast with JG, the Why Willie podcast. You know, my overall summary, and to put a period on it, is you have a decision. You know, when you watch the circus, you know, you can't be the ringmaster. That's Carlos. So you have to figure out who do you want to be. You can either be the animal or the clown. And I think we chose collectively to be neither.
Yeah.
So we walked out of the circus, and that's the reality of it. I think we can continue to harp on who said what, how it happened, but at the end of the day is, you know, we're not going to play victim to something we signed up for, even though we was actually
Right.
on the show. And I also think it behooves us to understand, to anybody else out there who wants to be a part of reality TV, you have a choice. You know what it is when you sign up. You understand what's a part of it. I think as we sit back and we kind of move on to greener pastures, we realize so much more could have came from the show. So much could have come from the show. Excuse me. So that's what's frustrating, that even with the mess and the drama and the theatrics, there still could have been a lot of good collectively we could have added to the show that was never exploited. And I think that's the most disappointing part of the experience, that we never, even though we talked about what we wanted to do and how we were going to achieve it collectively between it was just 4 couples, 3 or 4 couples, we could have promoted Jackson, the community, our storylines in a way much better light. And and all that kind of got chopped off the table, and we just, you know, we kind of just showed a product that was women fighting, messiness, and me, you know, about to go damn near toe to toe in blows with Glenn. And I say this, and I'll continue to say this: the best thing that happened that day was that nothing actually happened between Glenn and I. However, you know, were there blows thrown? Sure. Were there other things that went on? Sure. However, you know, it's not what I want to reflect of us and you and I individually. And so we made a decision, and it's a new year and it's new opportunities. But I want everybody out there who continues to support us and everything we got going on, just understand that we're not going to play the victim. And this is where we're at.
Yeah. And I wanted to make sure that it was very clear, because not that I care what people say. Like he said, we knew what we were signing up for. I mean, when you're on a reality television show, some people like you, some people don't like you. And I mean, it is what it is. But when you are having people question my character, my integrity, who I am morally, that was an issue for me. And I know that I am leaving and we are walking away knowing we had the best intentions going into it. And we are leaving with all of that intact.
I know that's real.
I wish it nothing but the best. I loved my time there up until that last really episode. Because it was my intentions before that. It was my intentions to come back.
All right, y'all. So that's pretty much what Miss Aikisha had to say. If you guys want to finish the rest of it, please definitely go on over to her channel and check that out. But yeah, that's pretty much that, you guys. I don't really got too much more else to say. Aside from this, y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments and stuff down below. But for a few members of the damn Bell Collective, girl, it's definitely giving this for me. And then we gonna sign the fuck out. Leave your thoughts and comments down below, okay?
Whack ass outfit you got on, bitch. You super whack. Now that I am at 1,000, I definitely got to get out of here. I am exiting stage left. Yes, I'm a bitch. A bitch that's better than you.
Come on, Aikisha.
That's cuter than you. And that's more pulled up than you, bitch.
Come on.
You hate it. You hate it. Bitch, I ain't never worked for you, bitch. I don't work for you. Bitch, I ain't never worked for you. And never. Okay, Bobby, because you a man, bitch. All right. A man with a wig. You're a hot mess. And your lips look like a baboon's ass. I'm not angry. I'm very, very calm, bitch. What you've done to these women is a sin. And there's a special place in hell for a bitch like you. A special place for a bitch that causes division within other women.
Who y'all think she talking to on Bell Collective?
The truth is, you're the common denominator. Everybody knows that you're a hot mess. You're going to look a mess with those black gums and all.
That's low.
And them knock-ass knees. Thank you and good night.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire.
Yes, Lord. We got to get the heck up out of here.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cash died at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Aikisha. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I could face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can feel it pull